Subject 135. Choose one of the following items. A Courtney Gears musical lunchbox, a talking secret agent Clank bobblehead, or this super cool Ace Hardlight action figure with Kung Fu grip.
Wow. Ouch! Hey, what's a big idea?
Subject 136. Choose one of...
Oh, Courtney Gears! Ouch! Hey!
Subject 137. Wouldn't you like to play with an Ace Hardlight action figure? All the cool kids are doing it.
Yeah, whatever. That guy's a tool.
Yeah. So if Ace is, a tool, whose action figure would you rather have? Huh?
I don't know. Maybe that Lombax guy who smoked Reactor. He was like, who you talking to? Ow! Mom!
Subject 138.
Haha, focus testing jokes. I love focus testing jokes. They're just so funny because the series has never done that before, and of course that's taking much more priority than, you know, developing the actual fucking story. You know, the thing where we're actually supposed to care about what happens to our characters. Just a little food for thought though, you know, it's so good and fun to have a jokey joke, and, you know, developing the story is, you know, also important too, and, enough rambling. Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and, welcome back to Ratchet Deadlocked, where the PS2-era Ratchet humor was really starting to wear thin at this point, and while this game did have a rushed development cycle, has an excuse for being, a little bit, shall we say, lacking in certain areas, at the same time it's also kind of, feeling a bit exhausted. But alas, we're also going to a new planet, and this planet actually is one of my favorites. Planet Torval, a planet which actually has a bit of a similar atmosphere and nature to the command center from Ratchet & Clank 3, and again, as you're going to be seeing quite soon, while this game does tend to err more on the side of, you know, grey, brown, and, you know, the general sort of military shooter aesthetic you saw in the late 2000s, at the same time, I think Ratchet Deadlocked makes it work with a lot of the bloom effects, the lighting, and also the time of day. I don't know, I just tend to have a real love for stages that have a bit of an arid sky motif. Well, as like a bit of a junkyard kind of thing about it, but I don't know. I'll let you see for yourselves as we dive into the preview. Oh yeah. Actually, you can see a little bit of it right here. A lovely sunset.
Welcome back to Red Zone fans. Today we're live from planet Torval. Team Darkstar has dominated the Dread Zone circuit so far, but I think their luck will stop here. They've just been sent to one of Torval's massive Ace Hardlight toy manufacturing plants. And although the plant was shut down due to shoddy sales, one of Ace's ships still remains. Team Darkstar will have to find that ship and escape with it before Dread Zone's most elite forces hunt them down.
Yeah, I suppose one of the reasons why I also like the stage beyond the aesthetics is the fact that we're actually kind of doing something with a goal in mind, which, again, is kind of similar in nature to, you know, the Valak spell where we were restoring, well, basically restoring a fucking lighthouse, just to call it what it is, but yeah, our goal, even if artificial, is to escape from planet Torval. It's dangerous, we're fighting against robotic zombie ghosts, you know, as well as a lot of other dangerous robots from this Ace Hardlight toy factory, which I guess is meant to be thematically synchronous with the previous cutscene about focus groups and toy commercials. Huh. Guess maybe I gave the game too little credit there. Ludonarrative synchronicity, how we love thee. But yeah, I mean, all three stages pretty much just tie into the factor of you escaping from this place, and I don't know, I kind of feel as if the game maybe should have done a little bit more of this. I mean, the game does try in some aspects, but not really enough for my liking, because again, it does also have that sort of game show slash challenge show kind of squickiness of trying to have its own little premise live out, but at the same time also being like kind of fakey. Because I'm trying to remember here, what was the... There was a show I used to watch as a kid, I think, back in the 2000s, I think it was... again, I think British viewers might probably know this a bit more than I do, but does anybody remember Escape from Scorpion Island? I mean, it actually had kind of a similar premise to Ratchet Deadlocked in the sense that, again, it was about a bunch of kids trapped on this island, and they had to compete in various challenges in order to, well, as the show entails, escape from Scorpion Island, which, yeah, it was always sort of weird to me. I mean, again, I don't know whether or not this was just me being the epic meme lord circa 2006 or whatever, where it was just like, wait a minute, if they're trapped on Scorpion Island, then why do they have a mechanic that fixes up the dune buggies for the challenges? Why are they there to begin with, since it's obviously man-made and it's supposed to be like this mystical island kind of thing? Again, just little stuff like that, that's kind of made me forget my point, but it's, yeah. Whatever, the point is, I just kind of like more tangible context as opposed to fakey context, which, setting in the game show does kind of work, but at the same time, I also think the game also would have strengthened itself a little bit more if we had, you know, more tangible goals in mind. Again, more restore the lighthouse beam and get to the spaceship to escape a level, and less of just prowl around the temple and blow it up because fuck it. And speaking of things that I'm surprised they don't do a little bit more of, I'm surprised they actually don't have more hoverbike missions in the game, because I believe, unless I'm mistaken at this point, I think this might be the last one, or the last time you actually have to do it in the main story. And it does a kind of similar thing to one of the missions in Jak X, actually, where, you know, you're chasing people around on the, you know, over the racetrack trying to destroy cars to accumulate points. So yeah, a bit of a shame they don't actually do a little bit more of that, actually. And I suppose to sort of talk about Jak X trivia while I've got the subject on the brain. Yeah, if you have a save file of Jak X, you can actually play as Jak in the multiplayer of Ratchet Deadlocked. Again, I've never been able to test this out for myself, but I do believe there is some gameplay footage out there. If I can find it somewhere, I might show it to you. But yeah, playing as it's not the Jak that you might think actually, because I think it's precursor Legacy Jak in the multiplayer. Yeah, so again, you get to see Jak holding a wrench, doing the. Basically having Ratchet and Jak teaming up, like all those, you know, ancient 2007 era YouTube AMVs had always wanted to see, like that one bit of fan art actually with Ratchet 3 era Ratchet and Clank and Jak 3 era Jak and Daxter teaming up, as it was meant to be, not like the disappointing fucking PlayStation Move heroes, which, oh my god. People have been clamoring for a crossover between Ratchet, Jak, and Sly for years, and what do we get instead? A fucking PlayStation Move thingo game that is absolutely fucking nothing and barely even represents the 3 series it was meant to reflect. Oh my god, PlayStation Move heroes, that was a... Oh god, that was a thing. And again, I mean, again, I know the idea of crossing over Ratchet, Jak, and Sly is a bit ridiculous, but... that concept should have been done much more justice if they were to do it at all, and that's, that I feel is very disappointing. But, on to more important matters, in terms of Jak X and, you know, having a save file will unlock Jak in the multiplayer, it also happens vice versa, because actually you can unlock Ratchet as an unlockable racer in Jak X if you have Ratchet Deadlocked save data. And now you might be wondering, since they re-released Jak X in the PlayStation Store for PS5 and PS4, you might be wondering how exactly do you unlock Ratchet, or are all the vehicles lost to time, but as a matter of fact, no, because one of the few reasons why you should own the Ratchet 2016 game is because if you have save data of Ratchet 2016, that will in turn unlock Ratchet as a racer in Jak X Combat Racing. Which again, is always quite a cool thing, and I love it when games do stuff like that. I mean, again, I think I might have mentioned this either during the Ratchet 3 review or it was the commentary itself, but again, you rarely see games do that, like, save data cross-pollination stuff, and to me that's a real shame, because it encourages, like, a lot of brand loyalty, and, you know, it also rewards you for buying sister games in another series. Like, I mean, they used to do it back in the past as well, like, how, excuse me, like how certain games would include demos of other games. I don't know. I mean, I suppose the reason why they don't do it nowadays is because space limitations, and they want to, you know, maximize as much graphical and performance power out of the system as they possibly can, but I don't know, it's like an era of, you know, developers helping each other out that I kind of miss, to be honest. And, time's long since passed, I suppose. But anyway, this isn't the part of Skully gets nostalgic about the old days, it's getting nostalgic about the new days that haven't happened yet, but should happen soon because they're the now as opposed to the then, and stuff that happens now is apparently better than stuff from before, even though that's, I don't know. There are many metrics to measure your life, but measuring stuff by what's good or bad is bad or good. So who knows, it's a case-by-case basis. There was a point here, it's gone now. Oh dear god, I mean if it wasn't for the fact that I was working without a net here, This hoverbike is standing between me and chaos. No, we have survived. I'm trying to think, actually, is this the gun turret one? Oh, no, wait, no, that was a side mission, actually. Yeah, which is also something to mention about, Planet Torval. Only one, side Dread Zone challenge for you to complete, and that's it. Say, do you get the impression that maybe they were running out of ideas for this game, or, that the time crunch was a little bit too stiff? I don't know, keep it under your hat. It's, 5 bolts under the girder. Haha, sucker, it's mine now. Okay, enough being facetious, because... yeah. Well, I guess they couldn't really do much more with the map than the fact they already had. It seemed to have been designed with the etymology of a race course first and foremost. Etymology? Is that even the right thing? Whatever, I don't know words, I just speak them and magical sounds come out of my mouth. But yeah, in terms of anything else, all we have left to do is basically just destroy the Ace Hardlight statue, and that's about it. I guess the implication is that he left it here from a previous challenge, but it's neither here nor there in this case. Yes, Dallas, you said that quote about like 50 bazillion, jillion, willion times already. Could you stop talking about, some waka flocka bullshit? Any bonus trivia I have, I can't remember if it was in this game, or maybe it might have been like, just some peripheral material, but, yeah, I believe an unused line actually mentions that, Juanita once spent time in prison. So yeah, that might explain a few violent tendencies, and the fact that, ooh boy, that's, might explain why she finds an appeal in Ace Hardlight's bad boy attitude. By the way, I believe that model of shuttle is actually reused in the future trilogy, as, the escape pod you have, when you escape from, like that city before you head to the Lombax homeworld in Tools of Destruction. Yeah, that's right, only the most nerdiest of nerdy lore, right here, on the Solidus-Skully channel of Fastoon. And now we unlock the Vindicator tournament, which means we can finally confront the Eviscerator. But before we do any of that, we also have the turret mission. Yeah, fine enough. You can also zoom in, do a thing. It's, pretty much all she wrote, really. Not really too much to say on this level, so it's just kind of... is what it is, but, you do get a lovely view of Planet Torval during sunset. And I suppose I could also talk about the art design of Ratchet Deadlocked, because each of these levels do have very, like, intentional design motifs, particularly with the way lighting and shadows are rendered. Because again, as you can see with the background of the level, they emphasize the shadows a lot more to contrast with, you know, a lot of the bloom effects and lighting, and it does create some really surreal landscapes, and, I believe one of the visual influences Insomniac had for this game was, I believe the Halo series at the time. And, while I wouldn't say it quite hits the Halo threshold, I do say that those influences do come across quite nicely, because, again, like, I mean, I recall seeing, some gameplay footage of Halo 2, like, how some of the levels were rendered in that game, and, yeah, you can definitely see where they picked up the influence. Although, I'm kinda curious, actually, is Halo 3 a thing at this point? No, I don't think so, because I think the earliest Halo 3 thing that they really had was when, the Crackdown 3 demo came out. Oh no, it might have been the original Crackdown, I'm thinking. Whatever. The point is, design influence make game look good. Oh yes, only the most thorough commentary, right here, right now, hot and sexy, just as you like it. And also, thankfully, if I can say anything about the turret sections here, thank goodness that they fixed the hard issue of Ratchet & Clank 3 where they had your health bar split across the middle rather than having it like this. Because yeah, that was pretty much the one bit of what the fuck about the UI design of 3 that just really kind of bothered me. But anyway, nothing really too exciting, and now we shall finish. There we go, that's the ticker. Planet Torval. A part of the game where I had an overall better time than the Valix asteroid belt. But anyway, now we have a fight against the Eviscerator, who's been such a memorable presence throughout the game up until this point, but that's neither here nor there in this case. So on that note, I am Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and next time on the Ratchet Deadlocked commentary, we're doing the Vindicator tournament and taking down the Eviscerator. Catch you next time.
Last week, we saw the spectacular deaths of leading contestants Agent Bizarro, Plasma Woman, and Orange Comet. Now, the low-seeded Lombax, known as Ratchet, has surged to the top of the Dread Zone rankings.
Frankly, I can't believe the little furball made it this far, Juanita. He is a scrappy sucker, isn't he?
He certainly is, Dallas. He's also a threat to children, endangered species, and common decency.
Well, kids and dolphins and whatnot will be able to breathe a little easier once Ratchet has been cut down to size by the Eviscerator in this week's Exterminator Smackdown.
No opponent has survived even 60 seconds against his razor-sharp titanium blades.
I'll bet he doesn't have any trouble getting a close shave, Juanita. You get it?
Shut up, Dallas. You're not that funny.